We've all watched horror movies, and let's be honest, it feels like all of them contain the same types of characters. One that keeps you on the edge of your seat, one that amazes you, and one that gives you the urge to punch them in the face. Today we're taking a look at exactly that. The types of characters every horror movie has. Let's not waste any more time, and let's begin. The Skeptic is the type of character that tries to stay as rational as possible, looking at everything strange around them, but still brushing it off as if it's the most normal thing in the world. A creature the size of an elephant, the hands of a gorilla, and the jaws of a great white can look at them like a piece of meat, and they'll still be like, haha, good one Joey, you almost got me there. I think you get the idea. Being a little skeptical is a good thing. I myself am a skeptic. But if I saw a news report about people in my own town dropping like flies, I would go from a full-time skeptic to extremely paranoid, where even a slight shuffling noise behind me would be enough for me to bolt towards the nearest airport. I feel like all of you would find that a valid reaction. But the skeptic has an entirely different approach, one that ends with them finding out what an axe tastes like, dying in the dumbest way imaginable. Here's an example. Did you hear that? Oh, that's just the sound of the wind. What about the armed guy sitting next to you? Kyle is probably pranking us. And is this part of the prank? Yep, definitely. You can tell how unimportant these characters are, because movies add them simply to make an example out of them, killing them off in the most brutal way, and then pouring salt onto the wound by making others forget about them. I have an example from a recent movie that I watched, and goddamn, it's a very good one. Obsession. Spoiler warning, if you're planning to watch the movie, skip over to the next entry. So Bear, the main character, wished for Nikki to be obsessed with him. That's the entire premise. And it backfired because of how messed up it was getting. Bear is his friend, right? That guy being Ian. He already saw how batshit crazy Nikki was at his house, but the moment Bear came to him for help, to undo his wish or whatever, the guy wishes to become a billionaire instead, and that's that. There's no way to take it back now, as you can only wish for one thing. And that thing cost him his life, alongside the others. To be honest though, Bear deserved what was coming to him. But it's frustrating how easy it could have been fixed, either by Ian using his brain, or not wishing in the first place. When you think of the main character in horror movies, you'd probably get a specific image. If you mainly watch the older classics, you might be thinking of the most basic looking white girl that lacks any personality. If you watch the newer ones, it doesn't really matter. Sure, she might have a different shade, but that's about it. And before anyone says anything, yeah, I know, there's a difference between those types of girls and female protagonists in general. But you guys probably already caught that. So, back to the protagonists I just described. One thing a lot of them have in common is that they're known as the final girl. A boring female character that survives simply because it says so in the script, surviving 27 stab wounds and managing to fight out the killer. The same killer she manages to kill by the end of the movie and saving the day. I don't mind most of the character tropes I'm talking about, but the problem I have with the final girl is how predictable they are getting. We know there will be a scene where she gets hunted down, and we all know that some type of miracle happens that saves her from a horrible death. Either because of insane luck, or because the killer's IQ level was bleeding out of its ass, staring at their victim and taking their sweet time as if they're Tom from Tom and Jerry, resulting in a scene like this one. Please, have mercy. To be honest though, it's an old trope. A lot of the character tropes I'm mentioning are no different. Mostly because modern movies realize how exhausting they are, and also because I don't watch a lot of modern horror movies. That said, here's my theory on why we have a lot more final girls than boys. Men probably didn't appreciate seeing a guy running around, screaming, crying, and doing other stuff they considered feminine in the older days. Which is why, instead of the final boy, we get the next fucking moron, which I'll be talking about. Apparently they call these characters the Jock, so we'll just go with that. So I think we all know what a jock is. The high school movies have done these to death, being the type of guy that think highly of themselves, picking on nerds by shoving them in lockers and calling them a punk, dork, geek, and some other unoriginal insults. Horror movies looked at that and thought to themselves, you know what? That's a brilliant idea. And so the horror directors went on and full on copied that shit like his homework, being exactly the same. AKA, it's a buff guy who can't even figure out how to open a jar. Not because they lack the power, but because they lack the thinking. And a lack of thinking is a reoccurring theme with them. They know there's a killer on the loose, but the moment there's a sound out there, he goes to check it out, having a scene like this one unfold. Hey, what do you think you're doing out there? You're not going to talk? Well, prepare for a knuckle sandwich. You see this armed guy in the middle of a killing spree, and you expect to take him on with bare fists? One positive about these characters is that we don't have to put up with them for long. They always end up dying in the most avoidable way imaginable, where they care more about their dignity than anything. If I saw a guy with a knife coming up to me, I'd be running like my life depends on it. Which it does. I wouldn't give a shit about my dignity at that point. I would even start screaming like a little girl, crying, while flailing my arms around. There are so many examples of these, but to be honest, I forgot most of them. Well, it's literally because they're forgettable. I think movies from the Scream franchise and Friday the 13th contains them, but I'm not so sure. You cannot blame me. They die in like 5 minutes. Alright, I also forgot to name examples of the final girl. Halloween has one named Laurie Strode. Alright, let's continue. This is a character that has a strong feeling that something bad will happen. Either it's someone who's part of the group, or it's a random stranger. Both have something in common, and that is that they get a massive middle finger to their face. Let's look at them separately. If the warning comes from within the group, the person gets gaslit into believing they're schizophrenic, making them feel bad for not wanting to tag along inside a haunted house. These are the people they are friends with. But before you feel bad though, you must keep this in mind. Instead of trusting their gut instinct, they decide to tag along anyway, spamming the "this is crazy" dialogue, even though they literally had the option to, just decline. It doesn't matter how close I am to somebody. If they're this determined to stumble into a death trap, then I'm sorry, I can't come. I am too busy planning out your funeral. But here's the cruelest part of it all. Every time when the person giving the warning joins this dumbass activity, they are the ones that end up with a blade stuck in their soul, not the other morons that convinced them. As I said though, the warnings don't always come from within the group. It can also come from outside of it. There could be this group of teens planning to go to a sketchy place, but first, they're gonna fill up some gas. They go to the gas station, and the dialogue will be like this. "Oh, I'm so excited to go to the Nut Twister Lake." "Nut Twister Lake, you say?" Is this sketchy old guy your friend? "Nope, never seen him." "I remember that day like it was yesterday. Back in '98, I went with a buddy of mine. That was the last time I spoke to him." What happened to him? "I don't know, but it was probably bad news." "Hey, where'd you guys go?" Treating the guy like it's a senior going through dementia, ignoring the sweet soul trying to save theirs. But you can't save everyone, At least the old guy will have another story to tell the next person dumb enough to venture into Nut Twister Lake. So anyway, that was it for today. If you liked the video, drop a like, subscribe, and comment some more stuff I forgot. Alright, see ya.